So you'll have to see this high-tech setup that I have here. I got an old glove, winter glove from when I was working at Trican, sitting on the dash here, and the camera's sitting on that. And then as I go down a bumpy road, hopefully software will have some stabilization features. I know YouTube said that it could stabilize some videos for me. I'm just using a digital camcorder, a JVC here with a 30 gig hard drive that I bought, 2008. Bought it for the wife, I guess for me too, but we used it for a little bit and then we just never touched this stupid thing, so. But luckily I wasn't duped into buying the what do they call it? All the warranty nonsense from Best Buy that it isn't really a warranty at all. It's just a way for them to make extra money. Jerks. Oh, let's see here. Luckily, we can just edit, so I can just record a buttload of crap and figure it out from there. Poor wife is going to have to do all this editing, though. So one of the other things about success that I've come to realize as I've been studying it and listening to audiobooks and whatnot, and then just talking to people about it, is that when you have any level of success, especially if it's above, that of someone you're talking to, or if you have, goals and aspirations for success that people have not obtained and they don't plan to obtain or think they can, then they hate you, and that kind of sucks. But I mean, the thing is, you really got to, challenge the status quo. And you can't just challenge the status quo in a silly way of like, oh, I'm going to use a spoon instead of a fork. And then people are going to think you're silly, but it's cool or whatever, you're different, you're weird. Awesome. But I mean, challenge the status quo where you say, no, I don't have to be in debt to get along in life. I don't have to have a student loan to go to school, right? Well, then you can't go to school, boo-hoo-hoo. Well, here's a crazy idea. You could just work a little bit before school and then pay for it, that kind of thing. And then you go, oh, well, if I waste all that time working and then go to school, I'll be behind. Well, the biggest thing is that, the majority of people I've been around who've gone to school, yeah, it was great and all, it didn't guarantee them any kind of increased income. Like especially in the computer science arena, if you can go into an interview and say, I can make this, and show them, and show them that you know what you're talking about, you get the job. And as of yet, a lot of people that I know, and myself included, I've never had school credentials asked about in a job interview. It's always been, can you do this? And oddly enough, it's like, really show up not drunk. Maybe that's an Alberta thing where there's a lot of, a lot of people drink or something, I don't know. Let's see, we want to head back out here this way. And then the other thing is that people get mad at people with more money who are going like on vacation, or they have a big house. And they're like, that guy's got a big house, what a bastard. And I'm like, well, wouldn't you have a big house if you had more money? Or wouldn't you have like a nicer truck, or wouldn't you go on vacation? I mean, I just think of it like if people won the lottery. What would you do if you won the lottery right away, right? You would be like, whew, I'm not showing up for work the next day. I'm heading out of here, I'm gone. I'd like to think, I try to condition my mind lately that if I did come into a lot of money, I would try to still keep the character of, like if I said, okay, I'm going to stay at this current job for 2 years, that I would at least fill out that contract of 2 years. Because this job has done a lot of good stuff for me, so you got to give where you've been given, right? Twitter will not make you rich. So maybe I'm picking on Twitter or something like that, but I mean, it's funny how you read all these things on the internet and they're like, oh, this person got on Twitter, got 200,000 followers, and now they're rich. They make some little dinky ebook or something, and they just sold it like crazy. Well, you know, and so I bought into all that for a little while. I'm not picking just on Twitter. I mean, Facebook, Twitter, Pinterest. What else is out there? Foursquare, Myspace, if that's even a thing anymore. But you know, it's like I get on these social media networks, and then there's all these people who are like, you know, buy this garbage, come to, like, I work at this place, come to this place, and it's like, you know, like, to follow one person on a social media network, it's like, I want to kind of know what's going on, what's different from today than from yesterday, you know, those kind of things. So if you're going to be like a car dealership on social media network, you might as well do something like, here's the new stuff Ford's developing, here's a race going on in Calgary, right? If you're in Canada, you know, or anywhere else in the world, you know, news and stuff that people actually care about. And then it's like, okay, if you're the person giving that information out, when the time comes that I want to buy a truck or go buy whatever you're offering, I'll be like, that's the person who gives me all the information, I'm going to go to them. And that's kind of what you're going after with social media there. I'll get on the highway here, it'll be a little bit of a smoother drive. Oh, on a fake highway, that is. Practice instead of wishing. Got all my notes here on the phone. And when I'm driving through nothing but gravel, I don't really think it's going to worry about distracted driving. And then you, the viewer, will get the shaft. If like a deer jumps out in front of me, I'll drop everything. Probably slam the brakes, smash the camera into the windshield. That kind of thing. Oh man, editing's going to be good. Be able to take a clip out. You'll be able to make a whole episode of like would-be bloopers of me saying, oh, editing, you're awesome. And if my wife's doing all the editing, which would be really nice of her if she did, I wouldn't blame her if she didn't. But now I lost my train of thought. Editing. Okay. So the practicing instead of wishing, you know, it comes from the concept of, like, you got a car, and your car is filthy, it's gross, you change the oil every 200,000 miles instead of every 4,000 or 3,000, whatever it should be. And, you know, people like say, oh, you gotta take better care of your car. Well, oh, I'd take better care of my car if it was a BMW. I'd take better care of my car if it wasn't such a piece of junk or whatever, right? Well, the thing is, you know, maybe your car's a piece of junk because you don't take care of it, right? And I mean, yeah, you get a little Pinto or Geo Metro or whatever, and yeah, it's going to be a junky car either way, I guess. But, you know, it's your car. You're getting to work, you're getting around and doing your stuff with that car. You know, I mean, just imagine if you had no car at all. So, you can't really say, oh, if it was a BMW or a nicer car, I'd take care of it. Take care of it now, practice, do better at that, and then who knows, you know, from your car being so well taken care of, you can, when you go to sell it, you can actually sell it, and then you can go get your BMW. You know, it's like the same thing when we say, oh, if I had a better boss, I would, you know, do better at work. If I had my dream job, I would work really hard, but since I don't, I'm going to do the least amount of work that I can. You know, I'm going to cut corners. I don't really care about customer service, those kinds of things. I've learned from experience, you know, when I've worked jobs where it's like, I really don't like this place, or I don't like this boss, or I don't like what's going on. You know, they're not giving me enough, they're not giving me what I'm worth. Well, if you were to flip that around and you became the boss, you know, just imagine if you had to pay someone $12 out of your pocket and they came in 8 hours a day, you know, taking your $12 an hour, you know, like, okay, I need you to produce something for me to make it worth paying you $12 an hour. And there's just a lot of weird misconceptions and erroneous thinking where it's like, oh, well, if I produce $30 an hour, he should have to pay me $30 an hour. Well, then that would be like, you know, a flat line of profit. Why would he even hire you? Why would he have you part of his business if you're not producing more money for the business? And the biggest thing is that when you're going in for an hourly rate, you are assuming no risk whatsoever. So, you know, they have to pay for the building, they gotta pay for the advertising, they gotta get all the product in. That's all risk, you know, on the boss. Maybe the manager doesn't have to do that kind of risk either if it's like Walmart or something. But I mean, if it's like a small business and you're thinking, oh, I wanna, you know, if the business grows, I should get a lot more money. You have to think of it as in, okay, what are you producing and what risk are you taking? If you're taking no risk, I mean, I don't see, like, if I am paying, or if you're paying me to do something for your business, and whether or not someone buys something or not, I get paid that money. Why should I get paid more if I don't produce more? Right? And the other thing is, okay, so you're practicing instead of wishing, right? That's the goal of this little clip here. So so you're at work 8 hours a day, you sleep 8 hours a day, and then you get theoretically somewhere around 8 hours a day at home, I guess. You know, so you're at work and you're sliding by, you're not doing your best, you're, you know, dodging everything that you can. Well, you know, those are habits that you're building. So you're building a habit of 8 hours a day of poor work ethic or, you know, laziness or whatever. Then when you go home and you go, I got my own little side business going on here, and, you know, when you're excited, yeah, you put a lot of effort into it, but, you know, a business is a business, and, you know, it's not going to all be excitement and, you know, just stuff coming together. It's going to be that boring, monotonous stuff that you have to do, you know. And if you don't perform well at work, why would you perform well at home? And even worse off, you go, oh, now that I'm home, I have to do even less because I deserve it, because I worked hard. And then you watch TV, you dink around, you space out. And I mean, I'm berating myself here, you know, I'm not trying to say everyone else around me or out there in the world is like this. But it's just like I have to break that mental attitude of, you know, I deserve to relax now. It's like, no, I gotta go home. And it's not a chore to do well. It's not a chore to perform and, you know, do your best. It should be, oh, I get to do my best, and then, oh, someone's forcing me to sit around and not perform. That should be the thing you should hate at work. If you gotta sit there and do nothing at work because you're a warm body greeting customers or whatever, that would be more frustrating, or should be more frustrating, because you're not saying, okay, what can I do to do better or get in front of more people or talk to more people. So I know I said these things would be 15 minutes long, but I've gone through like 4 or 5 episode ideas, and I mean, according to my camera here, I only got like 14 minutes. So probably what I'll do is, you know, when I'm in a different setting, maybe when I'm at home in the basement or something, I'll record about these topics again, and then when you see the episode, it'll be a cut-in of, you know, some in the truck, some in the basement, some, I don't know, me bugging my wife with questions and trying to get her to contribute to the show here. But anyhow, lots of ums and uhs. Cliven. Whoa, crazy professor on The Simpsons. Love him. What else is cool? The Muppet, that the Swedish chef. Skrrr, mousey. Just trying to give you some good crap for the outtakes. So, you're welcome. And, I'm gonna put this phone down. Let's try and not die here. That'd be awesome.